And I say wish an intention, for if you want an intention or if you need an intention, you will just bring struggle and suffering. You must come from a place of a 0 point and wish it through innocence and acceptance of all. And when you wish that intention, you must wish it unconditionally, for it is a great gift, a bountiful gift for all, for the world. And it matters not how it manifests. It merely matters that you help transmit it into manifested actuality. It's the inner child, the innocence. And we don't blame children, and we don't judge children. They are children, and they are innocent, and they bring light wherever they go. And when an individual loses the inner child, then they begin to get enwrapped and contain their light and punish themselves in shame and limits. They lose the child within, and they resonate bondage and imprisonment and not being accepted and not existing. And that ushers into your circle that frequency, that oppression. So it's so central to regain the magnitude of your innocence and of your beauty, and then passionately love it and broadcast that love and recognize all and accept all as co-creators to help bring that frequency into manifestation. It's a balance for the angel that's encased within the earth realm to begin to return to the language of behind the veil, for behind the veil, one is not greater than another. All are collaborators in a beautiful orchestra, and each has a different music to play, and each song needs to be played in order to create the music. So there's no territory, there's just a recognition and understanding. This is this individual song, this is this energy song, and they will come forth because that's what they do. They love to co-create. And the other energy will come forth at the appropriate time because that's its expression and co-creation. And it's a symphony. And gradually, in the material dimension, we shall ascend to recognize this as we become more adept at sensing the music of another, at recognizing the music of another. And the better we recognize the music within ourselves, is without shame, is the better, the more attuned we empathically recognize the music of another, and we slowly ascend up the vibration tiers into higher dimensions of actuality. And behind the veil, there is no competition. One can compete with themselves, with their own best, but there is no competing with another, for it is recognized that each song, each music is individual, has a different energy, and has different purpose, and you're always measuring apples to oranges. The perception of competition is a facade. Competition never exists. You never have two equal variables unless you're competing against yourself. And even yourself, within linearity, you're not the same person you were yesterday or the moment before. So it's a silliness competition. It's always co-creation behind the veil. And in addition to that, there is the understanding that behind the veil, all are playing a chord in a magnificent love song, and it's a symphony. And we need each and every player to play their music, their truth from their heart, from their soul, from their passion, in order to complete this dramatic, beautiful, eternal love song. And so when we co-create and when we want to use the law of attraction or intention for manifestation, we need to get in the flow of that beautiful, elaborate music of that love story, that symphonic love story of existence behind the veil. And when we're in that space, we know to do our part, and do our part through playing the music, the orchestra of harmonic love. And then all begins to take form, and pieces that appear dead begin to take life. And enemies become friends, and and people that hate each other become lovers. And that is the method of true existence. And we are headed there in a very big way. Think about the story, the mythology of Adam and Eve, and it says that they wanted to taste from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, or existing and not existing. They wanted to eat from that tree, and they didn't take from the tree of life, of eternity. They wanted to take from the tree of fractals, so that way, by understanding disconnect, they could really appreciate connectivity and connection. And so they take in the nectar of the truth, of path of light and the path of disconnection from the light. And then the mythology goes that their eyes opened and they saw they were naked, and they went to go find clothing or to cover, like a fig leaf or whatever, to cover their outside, their exterior, because their external appearance is all they saw after they took from that fruit, from the fractioning perception, from the judgmental perception, from the perception of shame and oppression, from the perception of being without, from wanting, from needing. From being in that perception, you're disconnected from all that is. And when they took upon that fruit to perceive what it is to be abandoned from the light, to exile oneself from the light in shame. When they did that because they wanted to eventually contain a far greater love. And love is so connected to passion, for when you are without it, you yearn for it that much more. So when you finally coalesce, that passion and that true love, that is dynamic, that is legendary, that is eternal. It's profound in its nature and in its song, and it is bliss. So it is all good, but it's time now. It's time now to remember and to transcend into the light of life and eternity and leave the shame behind. It is time now to becoming out of balance.
Yeah.
To going from a state of alignment and oneness, of extremity, a unity, a space of unity, going out of balance and being outside 0 point, and therefore having to compensate for that all the time through your judgment in order to recreate a world that aligns with your imbalance, instead of co-creating and merging and coalescing with the other energies together to reconnect the dots of the pristine angel of consciousness that we really have behind the veil, and to bring down those frequencies to us, to allow us to reconnect this beautiful love story. You know, we've been through all the rest of the part. Now's the climax of reconnecting. We're taking those long steps at the beach. Now is the time to yearn that passion forth in manifestation and connectivity of all. And it's a beautiful time. It really is a very romantic time.
Walking through a dream, I see you. My light in darkness, breathing hope of new life.